So hi guys and welcome back to my team career mode 2.0 episode 3 race 3. And if you haven't watched last video guys, go and check it out. It was the Bahrain GP. It was a craziness because look at that, we with Yuki Tsunoda was able to win the Bahrain Grand Prix, and it was such an amazing race with Max Verstappen and Ayrton Senna fighting with us, and we were able to get ourselves the win at the end because of a safety car. So a training point which we had, and we have used that to gain some fan rating because that is something we need. So we have a behind the scenes documentary. A major streaming platform is interested in producing a behind the scenes documentary. So yeah, I am going to accept that because that gets us a lot of money. And here we have early talks with Yuki Tsunoda. Honestly, this is just the third race. Well, technically we have only done 2 races in this season, and we already have drivers like Yuki Tsunoda and both the drivers technically for us coming in and try to talk for some kind of contract for the next season. So that is a good news, and Yuki Tsunoda doesn't really ask for that much, so we can obviously do that. And we have Jack Doohan, who has actually approached us. I have not asked Jack Doohan for anything, and he himself has approached us. That is good. So let's see. He needs the vehicle performance to be 7th, and 2.93 is the annual salary he wants. So I think that should be easy. Obviously he wants us to get 20 constructor points, which we have already done that in just 2 races. But obviously it's not going to be that easy because we do not really want Jack Doohan. We want someone a little bit better. So here we have in the development guys, obviously durability has failed. We have bought that again. So let's go into the research department. We have 1.2k resource points. Let's see what we can buy that, and we go for the ERS cooling because honestly guys, we need some more ERS in this car. That is going to be coming in after the IMLA GP. Well, obviously the research will be done before the IMLA GP, but the development and everything, it will at the end will come out after the IMLA GP. So quality of life improvement for chassis is done, so we are going to do that. Another one, obviously I am looking everywhere, and we are trying to open the phase 3 in engineering, and we have already done another quality of life improvement, and this time we have another personnel where we can upgrade something, and we are going with contractor management, which is engineering for what. And obviously guys, this is only to get as many workforce in the team so that we can get more sponsors and we can again get more money through that. Obviously right now guys, the main focus for us should be resource points because we are not getting that much resource points. That is going to be annoying for the large time, for the longer time period. But for now we are doing good. We are right now the 6th best car, and we have stayed in that. Obviously guys, even after putting all the upgrades, we are still the 6th best car, but 6th best is not really that bad. So we are still upgrading, and we look at that, have some more upgrades in the pipeline which can come before the IMLA GP. So let's see what we can do. Obviously powertrain is boosted with the activities we have done. Look at that, chassis and aerodynamics, both the upgrades have come in. So we have another event, so let's just go for that. And it was for the behind the scenes documentary. Because of that the fan rating has gone up. That makes sense. So look at that guys, I am skipping and I am not feeling even a single upgrade. You know how big that is, because we were failing upgrades in season 1, left, right and center. We were failing upgrades, but now we are not, and we are getting more and more upgrades for our team. And again, given that one to Tsunoda, we have one front wing coming in, and we have another chassis development to be done that will come out after the IMLA GP. So I mean, we can deal with that for now. So let's just buy the durability upgrade, which honestly we have to do anyway. So season break is here, we have done that, and now we are back in the racing department or in the HQ, and obviously merchandise spike has brought some money in the team. Obviously it's not that much, we are already getting 2.8 million, well 2.08 million, which is good. So a key member of our engineering team has raised concerns about staff morale. Okay, so yeah, we are going to accept that. That is not a big problem for us. Let's accept that. That should not be any problem for us, because we need the morale, guys, because we have so many upgrades that has failed in season 1 that I am not taking any chance with any kind of morale problem for any of our departments. So we have just bought both the ERS cooling upgrades. Let's see if that can actually squeeze through him. I might be wrong, but honestly it should be not that easy. So we have again 1.5k resource points, and I have bought a fuel efficiency upgrade with that, and we have corporate side has opened phase 2. So let's see what we can buy there. Honestly, sponsor negotiation should be the goal for us, and we have bought that because, guys, honestly we need the money right now, because look at that, we only have 4 million now. So we are going through our money, and we are going through it very fast. So let's just upgrade the another upgrade which is not really have anything to do with the, well, upgrades for the team or for the performance, but still these are very important. So let's for the last time look through, and we have phase 2 open for the personnel. That is good. Let's see what we can do, and we have 4.4 million. So let's just buy another pit crew training, guys, because that is honestly so much important, because in the Australian GP we failed to do a good pit stop that hurt our race point, our training point for our team principal. We have obviously used that one. So let's just see what we can do after going into the qualifying.
Welcome along everybody to Imola, just down the road from Ferrari HQ, and they know a thing or two about pace, and pace today is king. It's qualifying day, and it's great to have you with us.
Obviously we chose Jack Crawford for this time, and guys, obviously if you see on the bottom right side, you can see we have orange, very light orange in our engine. So let's see, can we keep up for this whole race with that engine? And honestly, guys, at the start I thought that was MGUH, but it wasn't MGUH. It was actually our ICE that was won a little bit too much. That means it's going to be a little difficult to do much in this race. But guys, obviously we are going to be doing something, because I am not letting any points go through this for this team, because I think, guys, we can fight for at least P4 to P5 this season. So let's see what we can do in the first lap of Q1. 2 green sectors, we have some battery left. Let's use all of that, race to the line, and we go P7. That is, well, not really good, because the people behind us are Antonelli and Stroll, which means we can do a little bit better lap. So obviously I thought about doing another lap on these tires, but you know what, let's just skip past the time. And we have a yellow flag. Did we do something? Let's see, it was an Audi, and okay, so he just tried to push. Well, I don't know why he tried to push out of the pits, and because of that happened to him. It had nothing to do with us. So we went into the pits, went out again, and now this is the second lap in Imola GP qualifying Q1. Let's see what we can do with the first 4 corners. We have already gained 3.5 tenths, almost 4 tenths gained. That is going to be big for us, guys. Let's see for the first sector what we get. A little bit worse at the exit, but we at the end of the lap have gained 2.5 tenths. That should be good for some kind of position, but final reverse are there and race to the line with 1.5 tenths gain, not too much on a used set of tires, and we go to only P14. Yep guys, we need to do another lap. Let's see, on to the final lap of the qualifying, and we have started that lap. Let's see what we can do with P15 right now for us. So we are 100% in the danger zone, so we have to get out of it. So first 3 corners we have not gained much, but into the final sector of Imola GP we have gained 5 tenths, and through the final back straight more or less we have 6 tenths up. We are 6 tenths up. Let's see what we can do more. Into the first Rivasa we have lost a little bit, but at the exit we are gaining another time, and 7.5 tenths gain for us, 8 tenths gain. Race through the line. Let's see where we end up. We should be out of Q1, and we are into P6. We are out of the danger zone, and we are through into Q2. Let's see our teammate though. Well, he is also into Q2. That is good. So both the Alpine, well, one Alpine is out, and both the Aston Martins were out. So that is not a good start for Aston Martin after, well, Alonso did some crazy podiums in season 1. So here we are, first lap in Q2 on a used set of tires, and it's 18.5. We go only P5, and at the end we were P10, 2.4 seconds the gap between us and P1. So we need to at least improve by 1.4 seconds to get ourselves into Q3. So let's see guys, final lap into Q2, and on the first 4 corners we have already gained 3 tenths. That is good. So our second gain in the first sector, our first sector must have been very bad. So here we are, look at that, what we can do. 1.1 second, 1.3 seconds is the time gain out of Eco Mineral. Let's see through the variant Delta what we can do, and 1.4 seconds gain at the exit. Yep, we are back into 1.4, and at the end of the straight through the Rivasa we have gained 1.8 seconds. That is big. Let's see, race to the line, what we can do. 1.9 almost, and we go P3. We have gone to P3 with a 1:16.6. That is an amazing lap. And Max Verstappen in the Mercedes is out, and Kick Sauber's Nico Hülkenberg, which is now Audi, also out into P12. So let's see what we can do. If you saw that guys, Carlos Sainz in the Williams was in P1, which is honestly crazy, but I understand why that is, because Williams right now is, I think, the 3rd best car, and the top 4 guys are so close to each other that they are, well, differentiate their performance by a hair. That's how much of a gap these guys have, the top 4 have. So that's why these guys are actually doing an amazing work. Obviously Ferrari is not in those top 4. It's Red Bull, McLaren, and that 3rd one is Williams. And I think guys, those are the 3 teams. It is the 3 teams that are actually, well, on a different class than us. So that's why it's getting a little difficult to get anything above P6 or P5, but here we can do something. So in the final sectors we have gained 7 tenths on a new set of tires this time. So we are right now P8. We need to at least get ourselves a P4 and P5. That should be good. So 6 tenths gain out of variant Delta. Can we get this at least 8 to 9 tenths? If it goes to a second, that will be good, but it will be very difficult to do that. So first Rivasa done, 8 tenths gained. Second Rivasa done. Can we get 9 tenths? And we have got 9 tenths. Can we go to the line keeping that 9 tenths? And we have done it, but I don't think it will be pole, but it is only P7. Well, it is P7, and even that is 1.2 seconds behind Ayrton Senna, who has taken pole. And guys, both the Red Bulls are way too fast. And honestly guys, even the McLarens are 4th and 5th. So we have to do something in the race. So guys, let's just go into that.
This race has gone by several former names: the Italian Grand Prix, the San Marino Grand Prix, and now the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. It's race day. We're at Imola. Welcome. One lap of Imola, anti-clockwise of course, unlike most Formula One circuits, will take our drivers round 3.1 miles of track, 19 turns, 9 right-handers and 10 to the left. Drivers will need to be precise at the hairpin at turn 7, given the subsequent uphill section. Without a good exit from that corner, they'll lose a lot of time on that stretch. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. An immense lap from Ayrton Senna yesterday puts him on pole position. And starting next to them is George Russell. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Piastri, Lando Norris and Sainz, Crawford, Hamilton, Tsunoda and Andrea Kimi Antonelli, Verstappen, Hülkenberg, Cali Meyer and Albon, Doohan, Webber, Pepe Marti and Lance Stroll, Lawson, Behrman, Gasly and Gabriel Bortoleto rounds off the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And alongside me today is a man who needs no introduction, but I'll try anyway. It's Ant Davidson. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Okay, this is our engine supplier's home Grand Prix, which means there's a lot of very important people here behind the scenes. I'd love to give them a strong result to watch today, plus a good result might make my post-race meetings a little bit easier.
Obviously, Mark wants us to get a good result here because obviously Imola, it is in Italy and obviously it is the home for Ferrari. So let's see what we can do with a medium to hard strategy. 13 laps on medium, 16 on hard. So with 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and we'll go for the Imola GP. No wait for anyone here. Both the Red Bull gets an amazing start and behind them Charles Leclerc getting attacked by Piastri there and into the turn 1. Let's see, Piastri has tried to overtake, but here is Russell who has stayed in front, and both the McLaren now fighting with each other rather than fighting with Charles Leclerc. So here we were, obviously guys, Carlos Sainz got an amazing start, but the problem was he was bogged down behind the McLarens, and so did we, because they went side by side with each other. But still guys, we were able to overtake Carlos Sainz and get ourselves P6. That is not a worst position for us. We can get something here if the McLarens are a little bit slow, but look at that, it's not going to be that easy to get ourselves anywhere. But let's see guys what we can do. So first lap, half the lap is done and we are still behind Piastri, so that is a good news guys. We are not losing the
wear on the internal combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power.
And the message I did not want to hear has just come across our screens, and that is that I am going to be losing power now. And guys, we have to do 32 laps, so it's going to get worse and worse from here. So lap 2 here, Lando Norris and Piastri fighting with each other, Charles Leclerc and Ayrton Senna fighting with each other, and Senna has been overtaken by Charles Leclerc, not Carlos Sainz. He is not in the Ferrari now, and here is Carlos Sainz who was fighting with us actually in a Williams. So here we are into lap 3 and both the McLarens were fighting, and here is Piastri who has overtaken Lando Norris. But here is us guys, we are just trying to stay in front of these guys, but the DRS is open and Carlos Sainz, and obviously he will fly past us guys, no doubt about that, because honestly it's Carlos Sainz in a Williams, which is much better in a straight line, and we had less than 10% DRS. So I knew that this was going to happen and we had to just stay with Carlos Sainz. That should be our goal right now. But the problem is, guys, that well, Williams are fast. I don't know how, but well, we know how because they are much better than us in the racing index. So that's why they are fast. So lap 4 here, starting lap 5, Carlos Sainz has gapped us a little bit, but here is Piastri trying to overtake Charles Leclerc, and with the help of DRS, that was a very easy feat for him. So here we have, guys, look at that, at the end of lap 4 for us 2, and starting lap 5 we have the battery a little bit, and we have the ERS and the DRS. So here I am trying to stay with Carlos Sainz. That is the main goal here.
Sainz ahead. Time last lap, 1 minute 20.2. Okay, the gap is less than a second. They're on old mediums. Okay, they've got 4 laps on their tyres. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. This is great stuff. We're gaining by 0.3 a lap. Good work.
So not only we are gaining by 3 turns on Antonelli, we also know now that the Williams are doing a 2-stop strategy. So this means that Carlos Sainz and Antonelli are going to push a lot harder. They are going to be pushing on those mediums a lot harder. So lap 6 and Piastri is into the pits. Wait, why is he into the pits? I don't know, but that doesn't matter to us because it doesn't concern us. What concerns us is that we are fighting with Kimi Antonelli and our teammate has overtaken us, so we go around the inside of Kimi Antonelli, and this means, guys, honestly I knew that because of way too much wear on my ICE, I will have very difficult chance to stay in front of our teammate on performance base. That's why I let Tsunoda by. This was honestly, guys, this was actually me letting by Tsunoda, not fighting him. On the previous lap I did fight him, but I understood that we will just slow our teammate down. So rather than that, we are now going to slow down everyone else other than our teammate. Look at that, in just 1-2 laps he has made a gap of 1.8 seconds. So here we are trying to keep up with Antonelli. Obviously it is getting a little difficult because Williams very slippery in a straight line, so we need to do something. So look at that, guys, in the just first 4 turns, and Antonelli has almost broken a second to us, but we are not going to let that happen. So at the end of lap 9, starting lap 10, I thought I wasn't going to let that happen, but it did happen. But the good news for us is, guys, that Antonelli at the start of lap 10 went into the pits, and we are now fighting Max Verstappen, the 4-time world champion in a Mercedes, which isn't doing much good here, but he has definitely overtaken us out of Q2 there into P11, and he is now climbing back the stairs, and he has gone to now P7. Obviously, guys, I thought about fighting Max Verstappen, but I knew that there is no way I can fight him, because I can fight him 1 lap where I used and dumped all my battery on the DRS straight, and then the next lap he will overtake us very easily. So that's why I did not do that. But obviously, guys, Lewis Hamilton, whose car is much closer to us in performance, I was able to stay in front of him. So at the end of lap 13, I 1 lap earlier than predicted, we went into the pits. Obviously, guys, we need to do it, and we need to get any kind of well, undercut on these guys, because it is going to get very difficult, because honestly I do not have the pace, and the ICE just keeps on getting worse and worse. Look at that, 65% on the ICE, and turbo for us is 48%. So we are now in the realm of losing performance, because our MGUH is also 55% on. So guys, it's going to get difficult, but I think we can do something. So lap 14 starts. We have new set of tires that needs to go 18 laps on these hard tires, which is going to be a little difficult, but I think, guys, I can do it. So lap 16, all the other drivers, obviously at the end of lap 15, these guys pit, and we are now on lap 16 now. So can we stay in front of Lewis Hamilton? That will be our goal. We have stayed in front of Lewis Hamilton. Has even Stroll has undercut Lewis Hamilton there. He will be a little bit pissed, but the good news for us is that Stroll is 2 seconds behind us. But guys, our biggest problem,
Their tyres are just 1 lap old, and the time last lap 1:42.9.
so I was just trying to know if Stroll was on a new set of tires or an old set of tires, and I very well knew that we are fighting with Lance Stroll. So here with one warning, and we have caught up to Bortoleto, who has not pit. So here we will get the DRS on the main straight, and as soon as I knew it, into the inside of Rivatsavan, we go on Gabriel Bortoleto. He was kind enough to not close the door on us. That means we are now into P13, and we will try to do something because we now have the DRS. But the problem is Stroll will also have the DRS, and he will be able to overtake Bortoleto. And because I went into the inside of Bortoleto in Rivasa, that means we have lost time to Stroll, and he has caught up to us. But honestly guys, Aston Martin not that good of a car than comparing to our car, so we can do something here. So lap 20, we have gapped a little bit to Lance Stroll, a second almost. But honestly guys, the DRS line was before that, the DRS detection was before that, so we will have to do something. Let's see what we can do on lap 21 guys. We are now into P8 because the most of the cars who did not pit have pit. But if you see on the left hand side, Carlos Sainz has not pit, so that is a big news for us, because as soon as Carlos Sainz pit, we will be elevated to P7. So we have to, for next 10 laps, fight with Lewis Hamilton and keep him behind. But he has the DRS and he has overtaken us, but into the inside of turn 1. I thought about it, but guys, we were just way too far. So Lewis Hamilton has run away, because guys, there is no way we are catching up to him. And Oscar Piastri, 1.5 seconds the gap between us and him. But guys, he went on to those hard tires on lap 6, so his tires will be much worn than us, but still he has the pace in the last 8 laps to attack us. So with the help of DRS, he will try to go around the inside, but we very good on the brakes, has overtaken Oscar Piastri, and we are now back into P8. So we are defending this P8 now guys. We are going on non-ERS. Well, when I start going on non-ERS, I kind of lose time to the people in front of me. That's why I only do that when I am very sure that there is no way I can catch up to the people in front. And that is something we know now, because with 5 laps to go, we are now fighting with Oscar Piastri, and he barges us out of the way. And here is both Calimere and Mark Webber fighting with each other, and look at that guys, through the inside we go on Oscar Piastri. Again another look from our onboard, and look at that guys, Oscar Piastri has to back off a little bit, and that is going to cost him. So we are putting on non-ERS as long as I can, so that we can keep ourselves in front. And there is a yellow flag, what it is for, and it is in our train. So is someone returning on some kind of problem? And it doesn't look like that. It must have been something. Nope, it is Mark Webber guys. Mark Webber has retired out of the race. Obviously he was fighting with Calimere there, but obviously it was a little difficult after a blown engine to fight. So here we have guys, at the end of lap 29, Piastri tried to overtake us, but we again broke late, pushes him out wide a little bit. And here we are with the help of ERS, and obviously he does get the DRS. But the problem for us is that Carlos Sainz guys, who has pit now and is on much fresher medium tires. So here we are defending against Carlos Sainz. For the good news here is that in the last 3 laps, Carlos Sainz is now behind Oscar Piastri, but Oscar Piastri is not letting us through. Look at that, the fight we are having here into Tosa. We will have to go around the outside of Oscar Piastri, and we have done that, not getting a good exit, but we have the ERS to fight, and we have done it, and we have now overtaken Oscar Piastri back. Well, we have defended our position and we are now into P8 again. So can we do something here on the final lap starting? We need to stay in front of Oscar Piastri. So let's see what we can do here. He will get the DRS and he has the DRS, but we also have the battery. So let's see, with the help of everything we have, Oscar Piastri tries to go around the outside. It's 3 wide. Carlos Sainz is the one fighting with us and we pushes him wide. It was not that difficult, but obviously guys, the tires are done. But here is George Russell, who has fended the attacks of Ayrton Senna, and he has won the Imola GP. With P3 goes to Max Verstappen, who went from P11 to P3. What an amazing race for him, guys. He did amazing work there. Obviously, I was not expecting Max Verstappen to get himself P3. That was good. And obviously, guys, we go to the race. And obviously, we almost fighting with Carlos Sainz there, but we have ended our race in P8 there. And obviously, guys, we just got a little bit weird exit there, but still, we got ourselves P8, and the driver of the day goes to Oscar Piastri.
And the best of British and the best on the track, it's George Russell who wins.
Well, a brilliant race for them today, Crofty, as you can clearly see out there. They were really at one with the car. And as a driver, you take comfort from the fact that you can win in a new set of regulations. And moving forward, you're going to see that confidence rise more and more. Brilliant stuff today by them.
What a day it's been for Formula One, and what a day it's been for these three drivers. Time for the podium celebrations. Time for our drivers to celebrate. By George, he was good today. The top step awaits for George Russell.
Wait, why did driver of the day went to Oscar Piastri when he started P4 and ended his race in P10, while Max Verstappen started in P11 and ended his race in P3 with a podium? I just do not understand, but that doesn't matter to guys. Sometimes driver of the day gets a little bit weird there. So Mark Webber and Jack Doohan, the two drivers who DNF'd. Obviously, it looks like Jack Doohan is finally not happy with Alpine, and we obviously knew that. So George Russell leads the championship and Max Verstappen has overtaken Yuki Tsunoda for P3, and here we are into P5, just 15 points behind Max Verstappen's Mercedes. So are we actually fighting with Max Verstappen for the constructor? It's going to be very difficult if that's true, but let's see guys what we can do. So guys, if you're enjoying these videos, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next one.